Do you hate real estate agents and do you think that they are liars? I know many of you probably do, and you might have actually clicked on this because you believe that real estate agents always lie. And the reality is, there are quite a few agents that do lie, and a lot of people who do hate real estate agents. And with everything in the news that's going on right now, I want to talk about, do you hate real estate agents? Is that founded information? Is that real? And what are agents actually lying about? Because there are some things that real estate agents lie about. So I want to make sure that we get into this today. And I promise at the end, I'm going to share with you not just why real estate agents lie and why people hate them, but I'm going to share with you what I actually have some real issues in this industry. And I'm probably going to get a lot of my peers who are not going to be happy with what I'm saying, but the way I feel it, the way I do it, the way I talk about it is all real, authentic. It is what it is. And so I'm just going to tell you about it today. We'll see how it goes. Hey, it's me, Kati, and I have sold almost $500 million in real estate in my over-decade career. And so I've worked with thousands of buyers, sellers, written so many contracts, gone through so many deals. I've seen a lot of things. I've worked with a lot of agents. In addition, I have a very large network of agents across the whole country that I am working with. There are a lot of problems with this industry. I mean, there really are. And I feel like I've had enough experience to now be able to really tell the public what the issues are about the industry, what's good, what's maybe not so good about it, and what agents really aren't super truthful about, what they kind of fib or lie. And, we're going to talk about commissions too, because that's been such a big deal. One of the big things about being a real estate agent is that there is a very low entry to getting in. There is really no barrier to getting into getting your real estate license. And a couple of years ago during COVID, everyone was like, this is great. I'm just going to study for my test online. I'm going to get my license and I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell real estate because hey, you can make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 just by selling one single home. So of course that's what the public sees, and that is actually true. So during COVID, there were a lot of people who did jump into the industry. In addition, there was a lot of movement, a lot of sales, a lot of buys, a lot of people who were going and transitioning to different parts of the country. And so everyone's like, we're just going to get my real estate license. So now the market has shifted, definitely shifted. And now you're finding a lot of agents that literally have no idea what they're doing because they fell into a lot of it. And so the industry is really very low barrier to entry, and people can get in just by taking a simple test. Now, you'll hear this from many agents, is what you learn in your real estate class is literally nothing that you're going to actually use in your business. It really is nothing. And I don't know why this is. I mean, you don't learn how to actually write up a contract. You don't learn how to negotiate a deal. You don't learn anything really that is going to make you a good agent. What you learn about is, fair housing laws, and you learn the legalities, what you can do and what you're not allowed to do. You learn about earnest money, you learn about, contracts, you learn about brokerages and what is licensed law. But everything that's licensed law is not actually what we do day in and day out. And that's definitely what's missing from this industry. Because being a great real estate agent, truly, and if you ask any agent out there, the only way you can be a great real estate agent is by doing the transactions. There is no roadmap. There is no course that's going to tell you how to negotiate or how to work with sellers or buyers who are completely unreasonable, how to price a home. That's huge. There's nothing out there that is telling agents how to do this. Now, individual brokerages may give that information to their agents, but it's not required because we're 1099. The idea that agents really know what they're doing when they come out of class, we literally knew nothing. And so in order to understand this industry, it is on the job training. So I've sold many homes, but I've worked with thousands of people and I've written like thousands of offers and worked with thousands of deals, and many of them haven't gone through. And so on every single one of those deals, I learned something new. I mean, literally every single person I work with, every single buyer, every single seller, nothing is actually the same. And so when you're trying to work and learn this industry, it is trial and error. A lot of it is. And the problem is you get a lot of agents who don't understand that, who are making their way through it, and they don't have the experience, and they pretend that they have the experience. And so the barrier to entry in this industry is not only low, the actual education on how to be a good agent for the consumers, for the public, has been completely missed by NAR. We can talk about all of the continuing education that we have to do. I mean, I'm working on my continuing education class right now. This is literally nothing that I use on a day-to-day basis. When were certain acts put in place? What year are they put in place? I mean, I'm literally not doing this when I'm trying to help a seller decide on the price for their home, or when a buyer wants to try and figure out how much to offer on a home. None of that is actually taught or provided to us in our continuing education. After this video, I'm going to tell you the true insight about what I really think is wrong in this industry and maybe what we can do to make it better. Looking for an agent? You don't know where to start? Start with me. Click the link below. All right, so I'm going to start with the first question. Why don't people like real estate agents? Number one on the list, the number one on the radar, of course, is the high commissions, right? Is it really a high commission? I mean, it depends. Now, when an agent talks about commissions, we can say that there's been a standard, and this is what all those lawsuits have been about over the last couple of years. If you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely do your research. I have a video down below as well that you could watch about it and what happened. In reality, the real estate industry was sued because of commission payouts, saying it was antitrust, saying that it was fixing the industry, saying you had to have a certain payout or that you had to charge a certain amount. Now, in all of my being a real estate agent for over a decade, I have never had that happen where there is a standard set commission. Now, there's a going rate, right? But I've never had that where it's been a conversation that we're not allowed to charge less or anything like that. So that's not really it. Now, it's certain brokerages there have been, especially many of these large brokerages, they have a set amount that you cannot go below a certain percentage on the commission. And that's just their business. I mean, that is their business. And they have 1099 employees and they say, this is what you can't go below. And that's, I guess, fine. I mean, I would talk about between agent to agent and brokerage to brokerage. Commissions really are negotiable. Where they really haven't been super negotiable is on the buyer side. So buyer's agents are typically paid by the sellers. And that is what all of these lawsuits are about. And the buyer agent commission is actually not negotiable. It hasn't been negotiable in the past. And this is because the selling agent will go in and say to the seller, well, typically we pay on a buyer agent representation fee. They're bringing them. They're not going to work for free. Typically in our area, it's X. Now, that X could go anywhere 1% to like 3%. That's kind of where the range might be, depending on your location. And so now what's being said is the sellers don't have to pay out the buyer's agents. Totally fine. But now those buyer agent commissions are actually going to be negotiable. So they will be negotiable because who's paying the buyer's agent? They have to actually get that from their buyer. So high commissions, it has always been a percentage of the home. I think that's going to change. I think that's going to end up definitely changing. But when somebody sees that an agent makes $15,000 for selling their $500,000 home, of which they only see that they've done, 2 or 3 hours worth of work, I'm sure I can see how that can be very frustrating and very, very upsetting. So when the consumer is seeing that agent is making that kind of money, yeah, I can see why that would be an issue. Now, from my perspective, what it is that in order to be a great agent, you have to do many transactions, right? Many agents are only doing 1 to 2 transactions a year, literally a year. And in this industry, 87% of all agents who get their license are out of the business within 5 years. This is true. Like, this is what I've seen in the industry. When I'm trying to bring on new agents, they fail. They fail at a very, very, very high rate. And so in order to make a living in this profession, you can't only sell one home. You can't only really sell 2 homes. You have to sell a lot of homes because you also have to split, you have fees and things you have to be. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say some real estate agents aren't making a lot of money, but the issue is that the industry is calling for people who are not making money in another way. So if they're only selling 2 or 3 homes, yeah, they need to charge a high commission on that. Now that the industry is changing, if you go with an agent who's actually doing a lot of business, they do have the ability to charge you less because they can cover their costs and they can still make a living. It's those agents who are not doing much that still need to make sure those commissions are high. So that is a valid point about why people don't like real estate agents. I definitely can see that. We'll give that one a check mark. Second, why do people not like real estate agents? Pressure tactics. Totally true. I mean, we all know that there are agents out there who kind of come across really, really slimy, and they're just dialing and they're trying to get you to list your house, or they're trying to get you a purchase purchase a house. Yeah, I mean, it's true. It is absolutely true in this industry that does happen. So we're going to check that one off too. Number 3, why don't people like real estate agents? Many people have had issues with their communication and responsiveness from agents. I would agree with that too. Now, there are some agents who have perfected their businesses where they are responsive and they are communicating. But you have to remember is that if you're working with an individual agent versus a team, you are at the mercy of that agent. Are they going to lunch with their friends? Are they going to their kids' events? Do they have another appointment? And you can't get a hold of them. You literally just cannot get a hold of them. So you have to look at, again, it's going back to, do they have a team? Are they working by themselves? Things like that. But again, there is a huge lack of responsiveness for many, many people in this industry. And I see it in trying to get information from agents. So again, we're at another check mark. Another reason, number 4, why do people not like real estate agents? Conflicts of interest. Totally true. I mean, dual agency is not allowed in many states. That's where the agent represents both the buyer and the seller. It is allowed in Illinois, so I have done them and I hate them. I hate them and they can be really, really problematic. You know, how can I, as an agent, represent both the seller and the buyer? I mean, there have been times I said, I'm not doing it. I just will not do it. But sometimes the sellers will say, oh, can we get a reduced commission? Things like that. And now with the whole industry changing, it's going to be different because you're going to get a lot of buyers who are going straight to the listing agent. And the listing agent is representing the seller. So now a buyer who's not represented, who's representing them? So now we're doing lots and lots of dual agencies. I mean, it's just going to be a real big deal. But yes, I mean, dual agency can be very, very difficult. And if anybody who's been involved in a dual agency has had an issue with their agent, I mean, that's the way it is. So I really do think dual agency should not be legal, especially going into this new era. I really don't. But of course, in Illinois, they are because we are an attorney state and that's just how Illinois is. So is there a conflict of interest? And is that why people hate real estate agents? That's another check mark. Yes, because it's true. Why don't people like real estate agents? I mean, this list is getting long. I mean, I still have a few more to go. And then I still haven't even talked about what agents are lying about, which is also probably true. Overpromising and under-delivering. I mean, yeah, this is true. And this again goes back to my whole point about education. The barrier to entry is so low in the industry that people don't understand what they're saying and what they're offering or how, buyers are going to respond. The psychology, agents are not understanding. So yes, another check mark. Why don't people like real estate agents? And this one is lack of professionalism or expertise. Now, this is my big one, and I would agree in this one for sure. And that again goes back to the lack of education. I'm going to touch on this one further down below when I'm talking about what really, really gets me about the industry. So yep, check. That's another reason. All right. So we've gone through 7 points of why people really, really don't like real estate agents. At the end, I definitely will be sharing with you my most hated things about real estate agents. All right, here we are now. What do real estate agents lie about? Now, this is more on my side. Like, you may not know this. You may think they lie about things, but I know for a fact, like, what do real estate agents really lie about? Number 1, overstating property value. Yes, this is called buying the listing. So what this means is that there are many agents who want to get a listing because they need business. Now, even if they think it may not sell because the price is too high, they will get leads off of the business that they're getting off of that listing. So many agents will go in and buy the listing. So they'll tell a seller what they want to hear about their price rather than being honest about the price. This is your kiss of death. If you get an agent who's just telling you what you want to hear, there is a chance that they're lying to you. And if you get a couple of agents in and one is way, way, way off and you don't like the low person, it could be that that other person is buying the listing. So what do real estate agents lie about? Overstating property values. That's another check. Boy, this video is not great for our industry. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate from my fellow agents. Okay, number 2, what do real estate agents lie about? Minimizing problems. Now, this one, I don't think that they necessarily minimize problems because they are lying about it. I think they just don't know. And so they don't understand the significance of what they're doing because they just haven't been in that situation before. Remember, I said every single deal I've learned something new. And so I think, yes, many of them do minimize problems, but that's just because they don't know. And that goes back to the idea about the education. So what do real estate agents lie about? Minimizing problems. I'm going to give that a thumbs down because I just think it goes more to education. Agents are not winning on this video. What do real estate agents agents lie about? Exaggerating interest. Okay, now this one is really kind of interesting because as a seller's agent, when a buyer comes to the house and they say, oh, do you have any interest in the house? The seller's agent might say, we have a lot of interest in the house. As a buyer, you have to realize you're kind of working with a salesperson, right? And so the salesperson is not necessarily going to tell you, you know what, we haven't had a showing all week, make an offer. So what listing agents will probably say is, oh, we've been super busy. We've been super busy. Yeah, it's first week on the market. Or, oh, we have somebody circling. Now, I'm going to say that's true. That is absolutely true. But when you look at that, you have to say, you know what, is that my agent? So now if your agent, if you feel your buyer's agent or your selling agent is exaggerating interest, that's a problem. If your buyer's agent is saying to you, oh, they're super busy, that may be, depending on the market that you're in. In a crazy market, they're not lying to you, they're telling you, and they're trying to explain it. So the problem with being a real estate agent is that we are salespeople. Through and through, I am a salesperson. That's who I am. I am a fantastic salesperson, like really good. I have a lot of sales experience. I'm really good at it. The problem in our industry is that real estate agents also have to be consultants. As a consultant, are you going to believe me as a consultant, or do you think I'm a salesperson? So we have to walk this very fine line of being aggressive without being pushy. You know, it's just a very difficult thing for us to navigate, and many agents come across looking like a salesperson when they're trying to be a consultant. So in our industry, this is a problem across the board. So when I say exaggerating interest, I'm going to give that a yeah. I mean, real estate agents do lie about that, but you should always make sure that if it's your own agent, that is not okay. If it's the agent who's working for the seller and the buyer's agent comes and says, do you have any interest? I mean, as a seller's agent, you want your seller's agent to not be like, you know what, we are dead. You better write an offer right now. I mean, that's part of the sales process. So it depends on that situation. So I'll say yes, but you got to take that one with a grain of salt. What do real estate agents lie about? Misrepresenting market conditions. You know, this one's really funny because I will see like Facebook posts and Instagram posts. It's a great time to buy. It's a great time to sell. If you ask an agent when a great time to buy or sell is, it's always right now. That's probably always true. Like I could say when you have really high interest rates, if you buy a house and then in a year the interest rates go down, well, yeah, the price of the home is high, the interest rates are high, but then you can refinance. So is that a great time? Again, this falls into this consultant salesperson thing. You know, you really need to think, is it a great time to buy? I don't know. I mean, a lot of salesy real estate agents will say that at all times. It's a great time to buy. It's a great time to sell. You know, you need to look at that in your own individual market. So I'm going to give that one a down just because there are different market fluctuations and you need to rely on your real estate agent the way you'd rely on your financial planner, you know, and if you want to sell, that's the best time for you to sell, but you need to take into consideration what the market is doing at that point as well. Are you planning on selling your home now? Make sure you download our Seller's Playbook. You will not want to miss this. It will show you exactly what you need to do to update your home. Okay, what do real estate agents lie about? Falsifying offers. This is a big bad no, like falsifying offers. So, you know, many times when buyers write an offer on a property, the listing agent will say, we have multiple offers. And then the buyers are like, that's not true. That's such a lie. Has that happened to me before where somebody's probably lied to me about that? Yeah, I will say yes, that's probably lie. And again, that goes to experience, but you need to think about this. So let's say I'm a top agent in my community and the other top agent comes to me and finds out that I've lied. Like my reputation is going to go down the drain if people start thinking that I'm lying all the time about having a multiple offer. So while some agents probably do, those who are less experienced probably do, the ones who are experienced are not willing to threaten their good relationships with other agents. Because I will tell you, when I have a good agent who I trust, who's bringing in an offer, I know that agent has vetted out that buyer or that seller. I know that. I understand exactly what they've asked their client. And when that agent vouches for that buyer, I know that that's real. And so if an agent gets burned by an agent who's lied about this, or you feel like they're not being on the up and up, it's going to damage their reputation for a very long time. So falsifying offers in our industry is really bad. Does it happen? Absolutely. Does it happen for the majority of agents? I would say no. I would hate to taint the whole industry based on a few agents that have lied, because I say for the majority of this, we do not falsify offers. So I'm going to give that one down. I know, I'm sure I'll get some hate on that one. Okay, and what do real estate agents lie about? Hiding motivations. So this again goes into sort of this dual agency, trying to get both sides of the deal. What are they trying to do for themselves? Are they trying to get both sides? Are they trying to, for example, buy the listing? Like, what is their motivation? I'm sure you might not have heard that until I actually said that. There are a lot of motivations in this industry that you don't know of. Again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say that for the most part, agents who are super experienced have done thousands of deals. They work with thousands of clients. And if their reputation was that bad, you would hear about it. And it's these agents who are inexperienced who don't really understand the ramifications of what they're doing and the advice that they're giving. So hiding motivations, it all depends again on the agent. And that is the problem with this industry. It is a low barrier to entry. And so when you're talking about real estate as agents as a whole, you have 1.5 million real estate agents in this country who are part of National Association of Realtors. You're maybe talking, 200,000 who are really good across the whole country. The rest might not know what they're doing because they don't have the education. But again, this goes into the idea that, we're not getting this type of education from our continuing education. All we're getting is, when were these laws instated? What is the legal way of doing this? We're not getting how do you price a home? How do you keep your sellers from losing money? We are not being taught that. That is an on-the-job lesson that we learn. So as far as hiding motivations, I'm going to say no on that. I'm just going to go back again to it's just not experienced. Okay, now, next thing I'm going to get to is what you've all been waiting for, and this is how I really feel about my issues with the real estate industry and real estate agents. Please, if you're still here, I want to make sure that you subscribe to my channel. We have been having some amazing growth, and if you subscribe and if you like to this video will get pushed out to the algorithm, and we are going to get this out to the whole country because I do believe that this education in this industry does need to change, but it starts with people understanding this industry from the inside. Now, I may get in big trouble for this, for actually having this conversation from my association. I don't know. They may say, why would you go and talk about that all on camera? And what I'm going to say is that it's because I want this industry to thrive. I want this industry to succeed. And as long as we are quiet, as long as we are not saying what our value is, as long as we are addressing, there's some real issues in this industry. We are going to be hated. Real estate agents are going to lie because they don't know anything different. This industry needs to reset and it needs to change. And I need you to help that. So make sure you like and subscribe. All right. So now what are my real issues with the real estate industry? Now we're getting real and authentic. I'm going to give you my insight into what I believe. I've already alluded to this, the lack of education in this industry. And I'm not going to sit here and say I knew all this from day one. No, I was a brand new agent at one point. I didn't know what I was doing, and I argued with other agents. And I'm not going to say I ever lied because lying is not my thing, but I didn't do that. I was real, but I didn't know what I was doing. And so the lack of education in real life issues on how to be a good real estate agent was completely missing. So that is one of my major issues about this industry. And I do not need more continuing education to ask me when the Fair Housing Act went into place. That will not help my consumers. What will help my consumers and what will help this industry work with consumers is literal information on how do you work with sellers? How do you work with buyers? How do you show a home? I mean, literally, we're not told this. It's all on our own. It is all just from our own personal experience. A big issue that I have with agents in this real estate industry is they don't answer their phones. It's true. There are so many times I'll reach out to agents, I'll text them, I'll call them, I'll email. They literally do not respond. They're representing themselves. This is especially for listing agents. We're trying to get into a house and they literally don't respond. Their sellers don't know this. And this is a problem. Again, it goes to experience. And agents who are experienced usually have a system, usually have a process, have done this 1,000 times. So that's where you need to be looking. You need to be looking at an agent who is experienced. I hate this. This really makes me crazy. Sellers or buyers who use agents because they like them or because they play tennis with them. This is not a reason that you should choose somebody to buy or sell a home with. This is literally so old school. You don't look at what their real experience is. Agents are holding tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in their hand, and you're going to hire somebody because your wife plays tennis with them? It's just not a way to do business. And I don't understand why the real estate agent industry is like this. I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense. In addition, agents who get upset when their friends and family don't use them. Now, I will tell you, inexperienced agents get really upset when their friends and family don't use them. I have heard of people losing friendships, 30-year friendships, because their friend didn't use them to sell their house. Do you use a financial planner just because you're friends with them? No, you want performance. And if that agent is a part-time agent, there is a reason. And the fact that our industry and agents get so upset by this just cannot happen. Now, have I lost listings that I've been upset about? And I'd be like, wow, I can't believe that person didn't use me. Absolutely. But what I have to think about is it's probably something about me. It's probably something about my business, something they know about me, and they just weren't comfortable with me. So yes, and I have to own that. And I have to say, you know what? This is what it is. But this makes me crazy just when agents think that their friends and family should use them. And here is the absolute biggest issue that I have is part-time agents or agents who take this on as a hobby. I know that it can be super daunting when you are looking for an agent and you have no idea how to find one. And that is why I offer to you, me, helping you find an agent anywhere in the country. And that agent is going to be somebody who is knowledgeable and experienced and who knows what they are doing. You need that partner that you can trust. And I promise that I can help you find that person. No fees, no obligation, and no charge to you. So go ahead and fill out my form below and I will make sure that I get you connected with an agent who knows your market. And this is what you as the consumer need to be aware of. There are hundreds of thousands of agents out there who have their real estate license who have not done the work. They are not working at this full time. Even when I started in the industry, I was working full time. Now, when you have a buyer's agent or a seller's agent who has another job, they cannot provide you the service that you're looking for. And so I think you as the consumer need to understand the significance of hiring an agent who either has another job or who does not have the experience. Again, I know I'm going to get so much hate probably from my own industry in saying this because I was new once and I get that. But if you are new and you're watching this video, you're an agent out there, you need to tag along with somebody who is experienced. You cannot service these buyers and these sellers the same way that an experienced agent can. It just can't happen. I believe that I have been given an opportunity to help my clients get to the next stage in their home selling journey or their home buying journey. I take this job very, very seriously. I see the mistakes and the consultative advice that I have given to my buyers and sellers that could have cost them money. I really have seen that. And so now I take every single piece of advice that I give to my sellers and my buyers to say, I am giving them advice that may cost them tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so what I want you to know is that you can negotiate commissions, and you definitely should negotiate commissions on people who are not as experienced. If you have an experienced agent out there, they are making you more money. They are giving you their insight and their consultative advice over the thousands of clients that they have worked with. And so you need to really think about what are they telling you and take that advice to heart. And now if you're expecting the same thing from an agent who's only been in the industry for a year and has only done a couple of deals, you're just not going to get it. Again, I feel bad for all of you agents who are not experienced out there, but it's the inexperienced agents who are hurting our industry. And that is what I'm going to say is we need more education, but not more CE about the dates that acts were put into play. We don't need any more of that. We need a realization that what we do as a real estate agent has a direct impact on people's finances, their homes, their lives, their livelihood. And that's why I take this so seriously. And I can say to you is there are so many agents out there who feel the same way that I do, the exact same way as I do.